Hi, my name is Daniel Freeman, and in this short but controversial presentation, I will reveal to you how I increased my height by over 2 inches in less than 6 months at the age of 27. Yes, you heard that correctly. Over 2 inches taller at the age of 27, years after my growth plates had closed, going from 5 foot 6 inches to 5 foot 8.5 inches. And you'll be shocked when you discover the unconventional, little known methods I used to grow taller, when no other method had worked for me in the past. These techniques are so effective and so outlandish that I quit my job and dedicated my life to making them available to the public. Now, here's my story. A little over a year ago, I became very frustrated with my height and started to hate myself because of it. I was 5 foot 6 and felt very insecure, especially when I was around people that were taller than me. I was 27 years old and was constantly feeling inferior to others because I felt I wasn't tall enough. My tall friends always teased me and joked about how short I was, which made me feel envious of them. I had low self-esteem and lacked self-confidence, and it was all because of my height. You see, for years, I desperately wanted to grow a few inches taller, but the feelings of frustration became truly unbearable just over a year ago, when I got rejected by this girl I liked because I wasn't tall enough for her. The humiliation I felt by her rejection made me angry, not only at her, but at myself and at life too. That day, I committed to increasing my height, even if it involved painful procedures or cost thousands of dollars. What I didn't know at the time was that that decision would lead to a breakthrough discovery that would not only help me add over 2 inches to my height, but also change how I feel about myself. I went home that night and researched ways to increase my height. But after spending countless hours going through hundreds of articles, all I could find were stretching exercises and supplements I had tried in the past with no results. However, right when I started to lose hope, I came across a little-known study conducted a few years ago by some Korean scientists that opened my mind to new possibilities. In that study, these researchers had used a form of acupuncture known as laser acupuncture to demonstrate its effects on the bone growth of adolescent rats. Up to that day, all I had known about acupuncture was that it's a form of alternative medicine in which needles are inserted on different parts of the body to treat a variety of health conditions, including allergies, back pain, cancer pain, and several neurological and digestive disorders. However, as I read that study, I was surprised to learn this form of acupuncture caused the bones of the rats to grow longer. But what surprised me the most, and what may surprise you too, is that these researchers were suggesting the same treatment may have clinical potential in promoting growth in the long bones of humans. I got very excited after reading that, and my first thought was to see if a similar treatment procedure had been conducted on humans before. And that's when I came across videos online of an alternative therapist called Dr. Krishnam Raju, as well as videos of several other alternative therapists in both India and Sri Lanka that had successfully helped hundreds of patients grow taller using traditional acupuncture as well as a painless form of acupuncture and acupressure known as auriculotherapy or auricular therapy. After watching several videos of these alternative therapists, I noticed that they used multiple treatment modalities to help their patients grow taller, but the one that most of them used was auricular therapy. You see, I had never heard of auriculotherapy before, but after researching for some time, I learned that it is a method of treatment in which specific points on the ear are stimulated with pressure, with a needle, or with an electrical device in order to treat a variety of health conditions. At first, it was challenging for me to believe that a lot of these acupuncturists had helped several of their patients grow taller just by applying pressure on specific points on their ears or by inserting small needles in them. But that day, I learned that auriculotherapy was developed by a French neurologist called Dr. Nogier after he theorized that specific points on the ear correlate to other parts of the body, and that by stimulating these points on the ear, it was possible to produce changes in organs, hormones, and other parts of the body. You see, just as traditional acupuncture uses acupuncture points on the body to treat a variety of health conditions, similar points are used on the ear in auricular therapy. As I was doing research, I couldn't stop thinking about how these acupuncturists had helped several of their patients to grow taller. The truth is, I wasn't very surprised to see that these alternative therapists had helped many children and teenagers grow several inches taller. What surprised me the most was that several of their patients were in their late 20s and that some were even in their 30s and 40s. Even after seeing all the testimonials of the individuals that grew taller, I was still skeptical, to tell you the truth. You see, after doing a lot of research, I had already learned that the World Health Organization had recognized auriculotherapy as an appropriate and viable treatment for over 150 health conditions, including sciatica, cancer pain, and even facial paralysis. I had also learned that auriculotherapy was used in the United States to treat several medical conditions such as hormonal imbalances, musculoskeletal, and neurological diseases. But it was still challenging for me to believe this treatment could increase height, even after puberty. Like most people, I had grown up believing height couldn't be increased after puberty and wanted scientific evidence explaining why this treatment works. That's when I learned that auriculotherapy works because of a connection between the ear, the brain, and the body, known as an ear-brain-body connection, and that there are over 200 points on the surface of the ear through which constant communication takes place between the ear, the brain, and the body. At first, it was hard for me to believe that there's a connection between specific points on the ear, the brain, and the body, until I came across a couple of fMRI studies that confirmed that the stimulation of specific points in the ear is interpreted by the brain as the stimulation of the body parts they correspond to. In one of these studies, for example, some researchers used an electrical device to stimulate a point on the ear that corresponds to the thumb. As a result of the stimulation of this point on the ear, the precentral gyrus got activated, which is the same area of the brain activated by direct stimulation of an actual thumb. The more research I did, the more convinced I became of the effectiveness of auriculotherapy. I then learned that the height treatment carried out by these acupuncturists works partly because some of the points they stimulate on their patients' ears are points that correspond to the pituitary and thyroid glands, which are two glands in the body responsible for growth. I also discovered that patients that were in their 20s and 30s grew taller because the treatment thickened their intervertebral discs, which are the 23 fibrocartilaginous joints between the bones of the spine that account for approximately 25% of the total height of the spinal column. You see, I already knew that the intervertebral discs could be thickened, and this discovery finally got me to believe that the treatment offered by these alternative therapists may work for me. My goal was simple: to increase my height by 2 to 3 inches, which meant that all I had to do to reach my goal was to thicken each intervertebral disc in my spine by 1 to 3 millimeters. I was convinced of the effectiveness of the treatment offered by these alternative therapists and was excited to go get treated by one of them. However, I realized that because it was the end of the summer and because of my work schedule, I must wait at least 6 months before I could travel for the treatment. Not to mention that the trip and the treatment would have cost me hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. I needed a plan B. That's when I decided to learn everything I could about the treatment procedure offered by some of these alternative therapists, so I could apply it to myself. After spending 3 months reading several books on auriculotherapy and talking to several alternative therapists, I decided to apply the treatment to myself. Some of the alternative therapists I talked to told me that because of how old I was, I might have to follow the treatment protocol for up to 12 months to achieve my goal. Others told me the most I could grow at my age was 1 inch. But that didn't stop me from doing my best. After 2 months of applying the auricular treatment to myself, as well as following a specific set of exercises and consuming 3 promising, cheap, and easy-to-find supplements, I had grown about 1 inch taller. I was in awe and had to measure myself 3 times before I finally believed that I had increased my height. I was so happy. All the time and energy I had invested doing research was paying off, and I was very proud of myself. By the end of 6 months, I had grown an astonishing 2.5 inches. I was feeling very different about myself, and others could see it. My friends and family members had noticed my height gain and were amazed. Increasing my height allowed me to feel more confident and to love and appreciate myself more. I now feel good when I am around others and feel they treat me and look at me differently. I get more attention from girls and feel a lot more attractive. But most importantly, I no longer feel inferior to others. I was so amazed by my height gain that I decided to share what I had learned with some of my friends and family members to see if it would work for them too. And guess what? Every single one of them grew taller. I was blown away and couldn't understand why these techniques were not provided to the masses. I knew that many people wanted to grow taller, but didn't have access to the knowledge that I had acquired, knowledge that their doctors probably don't have. And that is why I decided to create a program in which I share how I increase my height by using auricular therapy, by following a specific set of exercises, and taking 3 cheap, promising, and easy to find supplements. Introducing the Height Gain Breakthrough Program. The Height Gain Breakthrough Program is the only and first ever program that can teach you how to increase your height using auriculotherapy. In this program, I share with you how to stimulate the points responsible for growth without needing to use needles. This program is easy to follow and understand and is dramatically different from anything you may have tried before. Inside the Height Gain Breakthrough Program, I reveal to you the exact techniques I used to increase my height by 2.5 inches at the age of 27. Here's just a bit of what's inside the Height Gain Breakthrough Program. On page 40, I'll introduce you to auriculotherapy and show you how it works and how to use it to grow taller. On page 56, I'll share with you the exact ear points to stimulate to grow taller, and we'll show you how to easily locate them. Then, on page 67, you'll find the intervertebral disc thickening routine, which is the specific set of exercises I used along with the auricular therapy routine to thicken the intervertebral discs in my spine. On page 65, you'll learn how to stimulate the ear points using ear seeds, which are small seeds held on the surface of the ear with tape. This is an easy and painless procedure. I'll also show you how to make your own ear seeds at home if you don't want to buy them. On page 52, I'll share with you how acupoints can be stimulated using small needles. Stimulating the points with these small needles can accelerate your results. To stimulate the points with them, you'll want the help of an experienced acupuncturist. I'll also show you how to find a good acupuncturist that can help you stimulate the points with these small needles. On page 26, you'll learn about the anatomy of the spine and how a thickening of the discs between the vertebrae can make you taller. On page 30, I'll reveal to you how a bad posture can make you shorter over time and how to correct your posture problem with easy-to-do exercises to maintain or even maximize your height. On page 16, I'll share with you the exact endocrine formula for optimal growth. On page 74, I'll reveal to you the 3 supplements that helped me grow taller and how to take them. And much more. This is just a bit of the information contained inside the Height Gain Breakthrough Program, and it's only a part of what you get. My guess is that if you're still watching this video, you already have a deep desire to grow taller. You see, I believe the information I'm sharing in the Height Gain Breakthrough Program will be mainstream advice 5 or 10 years in the future. But you can't wait for that. Whether you want to increase your height to feel more confident, feel more attractive, feel more powerful, or to just feel different about yourself when you look in the mirror, I believe that you too can increase your height by using the techniques in this program. Here's what my friend Simon had to say about this program. This program works. I was very skeptical about these techniques, but after seeing Daniel's growth and all the YouTube videos, I decided to give this program a try. I am 31 years old and was able to increase my height by 1.5 inches in 5 months. And here's what Mike had to say. The last time I visited my doctor, I was told that I had reached my maximum height and that it was impossible for me to grow taller. I was very insecure about my height, but after using this program, I grew around 3 inches taller at the age of 21. And here's what Ava had to say. Since my parents are both short, I didn't think that these techniques would work for me, but after using the program for 2 months, I had grown a little over an inch. Now take a moment to imagine what it would be like to be an inch, 2 inches, or even 3 inches taller. Can you imagine how good that'll feel? How confident you will become? How good you will feel around others? How more attractive you'll become? Allow yourself to feel what it would be like. Now let me ask you a question. How much would you pay for a chance to increase your height? Many people would pay hundreds of dollars, and it would easily be worth it. In fact, a lot of acupuncturists charge their patients hundreds of dollars for their height gain treatment. Several friends recommended that I sell this program for at least $200, and I can understand why. I've invested hundreds of hours doing research and creating this program, and at that price, it would be more than fair. But I will not do that. My aim here is not to make a fortune, but to make this program available to as many people as possible. And that is why, for a limited time only, you can get your hands on this program for over 75% off. You can get the entire program right now for only $47. It's easy and simple. Just click on the button below and you'll be taken to the 100% secure payment page. Once you check out, you'll have instant access to the entire program. The Height Gain Breakthrough Program is a digital product. This means you don't have to wait for shipment. You'll have instant access to the program that you can read on your computer, tablet, smartphone, or print it out and read it anywhere. Just hit the button below right now and get instant access to the entire program. I'm so confident that you'll love the program that I'm willing to offer you a 100% money-back guarantee. And to prove that everything I have promised is absolutely true, here is my offer to you. Use the information and techniques in this program for a full 60 days. And if for some reason you don't see results by the end of that period, even though it's worked for every single person who followed the instructions and completed the program so far, I will refund 100% of your money. No questions asked. You are legally 100% protected. You owe it to yourself to take advantage of this very limited, risk-free offer right now, before it's too late. Simply click the button below right now, and you'll get immediate access to the entire program.